What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. I'm your ghost host with the most, Brian James, and welcome to Saturday Night Shadow Talk. So, unfortunately, guys, it's going to be me for a few. Our guest didn't make it. So, yours truly. Oh, look at that. Mr. Dylan James. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. And before we open the show, we'd like to give a special shout out to Bleeding Violin Studios, Mr. Cassidy and Raymond Lightwing. You guys do amazing work, and none of this would be possible without you. Also, we'd like to tell everybody to go to the ShadowZone. Go to the Parapost Network, download it today. It's a Facebook-like atmosphere with good old-fashioned, what the hell just happened here? Do we have a Robert with us? I thought we had a Robert with us. But anywho, go download the Parapost Network today. You will not be disappointed. So Dylan, man, how you been?
You know, I've been up and down, just like anyone else, I would assume. I'm doing pretty good, though.
Good. So, well, we have a few minutes to kill. We got one viewer. So, tell me, my man, what's your paranormal background?
So I worked with the Spokane Ghost Crew. I was their cameraman and a investigator. I was no lead or anything like that, just a normal investigator behind the camera. And I did that for about, I don't know how long I actually did that for. But
definitely a few investigations.
Yeah, I've been to a few. I've been to. Yeah,
hey,
I know.
Brian J. Laverty, what's up, buddy? Go ahead. Sorry, man.
Oh no, you're good. But I know I've been to a few. I'm not sure exactly what the places are called, sadly. I did do some paranormal investigating with another group for 2 investigations, I do believe. The group was known as Goosebumps or Ghostbumps, something like that. It was interesting name, but you know, it was interesting going through all the whole process of relearning everything, because at that point I was also trying to be the editor for the Ghostbumps, and the editing was interesting because it was like the same thing over and over again. It was like, pause it right here, show slow motion of it, zoom in, show slow motion again, and then keep on playing. I'm just like, it's going to make it a lot longer of an investigation because I don't know what the good parts are and what the bad parts are. So it was interesting. It was definitely interesting.
Hey, Brian J. Laverty, if you're listening to this, buddy, we ain't got a guest tonight, so you want to hop on tonight, man, and talk about your trip? Let's rock and roll, buddy. What up, ShadowZone Paranormal, PD Region Paranormal? What's up, everybody? We're getting a full house tonight, Dilrod.
You know, surprisingly, I do not see everyone. That's fine, though.
You suck, and I'm the man. So, tell me what it was, man. What it was like to work with the SGC, man.
Well, okay, so I definitely enjoyed everyone's company. Everyone was really nice. I would say the lead investigator was my favorite person.
Oh, you're such a suck up, dude. You're such a suck up.
Well, okay. I liked a few other people too, like Rick. You know, I enjoyed Rick's company until it wasn't. Like it was strictly professional, everything that we were doing. And my favorite part was that we never faked anything, and that was That was my favorite part about it because that means everything was raw evidence.
That's right.
Everything was just the raw evidence, and it was all there.
What's up, man? What's up, Brahma? And
Frank,
good evening.
I can't hear you, man.
So yeah, man, we had a lot of fun as the SGC. I'm actually repping SGC today.
I never got a shirt.
That's because you weren't cool enough for a shirt, man.
Oh, whatever. I was your cameraman.
Yeah, you were a damn good cameraman at that too, brother. I mean, you were right there in the mix. Yeah, I had to say my favorite work of yours was at the that last investigation we did.
Oh, okay. So that was when I wasn't the cameraman for that one. Actually, I was a person behind a different camera.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still classified as a cameraman, but like I was just behind a different camera, and having to go and use a different camera for that was very interesting because I wasn't used to it. Like holding it, and like trying not to be shaky because my hands were shaky at that point, and it was trying to make sure like, oh, hold it straight. You know, don't shake.
And you know, you did great work for that camera, man. It was amazing watching your video, how still it was, and how everything just flowed together.
Mm-hmm.
But you were one of the only people to help me go over evidence, which was really cool too.
That was another fun part, I have to say. I say that because if I wasn't the one going through evidence with you, then it was someone else going through the evidence. And me being a part of that, going through the evidence, finding everything that was important, like a noise in the background, trying to debunk something like that, you know, like, all right, I hear something in the background. What could that possibly be? All right, we go through options. All right, it could either be one of us, like a footprint, one of us whispered, or you know, something like that. And having to go through that kind of like checklist was probably one of the funnest parts about it, because it's like you're debunking your own evidence. And I really enjoyed doing something like that because it was always like, well, that could be something else, but it may not. You know, it could actually be hard evidence that we just got.
Dylan, how dare you say that about Brian John Laverty? That's messed up, man. I can't believe you said something like that.
I'm sorry. Did wrong time?
No, it's okay.
What's up, buddy? How you doing, Laverty?
Oh, Jesus. You know what? I'm still trying to recuperate from the trip home. I feel like I'm not catching up. Just extremely tired. The jet lag is hitting me, I guess, today.
That was going to be my next question.
God. You know what? Like in the time that I was in the UK from, I guess I got there on the Friday, on the 4th. We started investigating on the 5th, and it was nonstop investigating until the 17th.
Damn.
So we did 11 investigations in 14 days.
That is amazing. Oh,
no.
How rude of me. Dylan, this is the creator of the Parapost Network, Brian Laverty.
Oh, hello. How you doing?
Any relation between you two, or what's going on here?
What's that?
Is there any relation going on between you two here, or?
Yeah, that's my nephew.
Okay, I was wondering.
I actually helped raise this little shit from the time he was just an itty bitty baby till now.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
I had to put up with him.
Yeah, hard to do. Had to put up with him.
In all honesty, it was a lot. It was a lot of investigations for 14 days.
Oh, indeed.
Driving over 2,000 miles in 14 days. It was a lot. It was a lot. And, you know, the biggest problem that I found in the UK is the motorway, as they like to call them. We call them highways, but they call them motorways. And a lot of times at night they were shut down. So we would drive like 5 miles and then we get diverted off the highway and had to go a different route to get back to the highway. And, one night, it took us almost 4 hours to get home. And the original drive was only an hour there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, Raymond said he's glad you didn't get busted for the bank heist.
I'm not sure what he's referring to.
And Mr. Eldon said, "What up, Brian?"
Hey, how's it going?
Which one?
Which I'm not sure about the bank heist thing. What is going on there?
Yeah, I really don't
know. Bank heist. Raymond, please explain what you're talking about. So, anyways, it amazed me in some ways coming from North America going to Europe.
Yeah, like what's the differences over there?
Well, so many. But one thing I found really, really interesting is the energy is a lot different here in North America compared to Europe, especially the UK.
Now, are you talking about like the paranormal energy?
Yes.
Really?
As people know that I am a sensitive, and what I found amazing compared to here in Canada to there is my abilities were so much stronger there than they are here.
Why do you think that is?
The energy is different. The energy is completely different. The atmosphere is completely different. My last investigation, I have to be honest, I was taken back by it.
Come here.
We went to places called Fort Whidley, and they're basically tunnels underground that were used in World War I and World War II, and the Napoleon War as well. And when I entered the gates to get inside this place, I felt like I was being swarmed by 3,000 spirits.
Oh, wow.
And it was very overwhelming, and it was very scary for me.
I get you that.
And I don't get scared easily. But it's just, oh God, I can't even explain it. There was one point during that investigation that we went into this one area, and right away I picked up. I'm not going to say a demonic energy, because it definitely wasn't, but it was a very pissed off energy, very pissed off. And at one point during it, I said, okay, the night you guys went live before to wearing all black, I said, okay, I got you. Okay, that makes sense. So there was one point when we went into this room, like I was saying, and I felt him right away. He was very pissed off. We had cat balls on the ground. We had REM pods, and I walked through them because where they were in the middle of the floor, we had the REM pod here, we had the spirit balls here. I walked through them in between them, and I went a little bit forward and came back, and I go, this guy's not even going to look at these. So putting these on the ground is a waste of time. He's not even going to touch any of them. And at one point, I was standing there, and all of a sudden, boom, it came right into my face and scared the living crap out of me. And I had to leave the room, that area. And I later found out that in that particular area, there was a video caught on camera. If you're familiar with the show, are you familiar with the show Caught on Camera? So there was actually a video of a guy in that particular area that was pushed over violently, and that's what came into my face, and I had to leave that area And it was very, that's the first time I ever left an area where I didn't want to be in. And that was scary. That was scary. But overall, there was a lot of shit that went on, like a lot of stuff. I don't even know where to begin with the amount of evidence we captured over the 14 days. It was just, people are going to be blown away when they see the videos.
So could you maybe tell us what some things you caught?
Okay. Well, I put up a picture today on Huntophobia Canada page, in the group page. It's a windmill. Now, if you take a look at that windmill, if you look to the left, there's actually an apparition sitting on a wall that we captured on camera. Lex took the picture, and there it was. Now, what's really cool about it is later on in the investigation, I did an SB7, and I was asking a bunch of questions. We did a voice recording. We captured this man's voice. And during the, this is crazy. During the SB7, I asked a question, and I said, "Thank you for answering the question." And on the SB7, I got back, "You're welcome."
Whoa, direct response.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was another night we did the mausoleum, and long story short, there's two people that were supposed to be buried in this mausoleum. But is that me or you guys echoing?
I'm not sure. I heard that too.
Yeah. So, long story short, like I was saying, these two people were supposed to be buried in this mausoleum, but unfortunately, his coffin was way too big, so they couldn't bury him in the mausoleum. So they buried him beside the mausoleum. And because she wanted to be buried with him, she ended up being buried outside the mausoleum as well. So the mausoleum sits empty. And seems to me it's a lot of money to build a mausoleum and nothing's in it. But anyways, we had the spirit balls on the stairs. We had the K2 on the stairs. We had the REM pod on the stairs. I was getting immediate responses from the spirit ball. And at one point I said, and this is really cool. At one point I said, "Are you two together?" Boom, instant response on the spirit ball, lit up like a Christmas tree. And it was stuff like that at that place. It was amazing. We went to another place called the 1940s Tea Room, and I wasn't expecting anything, to be honest. And this place was like a tea house, but this stuff was filled with so much stuff. And then I thought, okay, well, we're going to hit a lot of residual in this place. Well, that was the complete opposite. It was probably one of the best investigations that we had during our trip. And at one point, we had the spirit balls, we had the REM pod, we had the K2. We even had the, the teddy bear that lights up. It's almost like a K2 or almost like a REM pod kind of type of. So we asked a question, and all of a sudden, boom, everything lit up. The spirit balls lit up, the REM pod lit up, the teddy bear lit up, the K2s lit up. Everything lit up at once. Everything.
Nice.
And it was like we're standing there and we're going, "Oh my, sorry for saying this. Oh my fucking God." Like everything lit up at once. Like you would think, okay, well, maybe something happened. Maybe I hit the table or something along that lines. And sometimes when you hit something and the spirit ball move, it will light up. But no, the REM pod went off, the K2 went off, the spirit balls went off, the teddy bear went off, everything at once. It was crazy.
So there's no just accidental bump. That's like solid proof right there.
Yeah, and we got it on film. So that will be in the video. But God, like my abilities, I've always had the abilities of seeing things, but not hearing things or seeing facial features. But everything changed when I got there. Everything. And somebody made a comment on one of our lives we did during the 2 weeks we were there. And they said, well, maybe it's because you're in a different environment. There's no judgment. I don't know if that's the case. I think the energy there is so much different than it is here in North America. I understand why so many people want to go there and investigate, because there's so much rich history there and so many haunted places. And, you know, like Portal to the Paranormal, one of the groups that were there, he has a list of haunted places. There's over 700 on his list.
And that's just in the UK?
That's just in the UK.
Dang.
Over 700 places out potentially investigate. And honestly, it was an experience I'm never ever going to forget. I'm going to go back next year again to do more investigations.
Remember, I'm flexible and I fit in suitcases very well.
Well, dude, it will have to be a hell of a suitcase for me to to put you in.
I got a story there, Brian. My wife comes out of the house and she goes, "Guess what our daughter just told me?" I said, "What's that, honey?" She goes, "She's watching a podcast of her two favorite investigators." I said, "Oh yeah, who's that?" She goes, "You and Laverty." I said, "Oh crap, that's awesome." So right inside my apartment, my daughter and my nephew are watching the podcast as we go along.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And you're one of her favorite investigators.
Thank you. That's so nice. You know what? Like, again, I if anybody gets the opportunity to go to the UK to do an investigation or do many, I highly suggest it. Highly suggest it, because you're going to get something there that you're not going to get here.
Mm-hmm. A whole nother paranormal experience.
And that's what it is. And that's what it is. And, you know, as much as the investigations were good and the places were good, the people I met, Portal to the Paranormal, obviously me being with Lex the first time, GSI, the patrol, it was about making memories with them as well and doing these investigations with them. And it's something that I'm never, ever going to forget.
Well, yeah, because you and Lex have been partners for how long in the podcast?
About a year. Over a year.
Yeah, it's about time you guys finally meet up and get to investigate, man. I bet you that had to have been one hell of a feeling.
Yeah, it was. I learned a lot about Lex that I'm not going to share, but you know, it's funny. You meet somebody for the first time, and you've been, you know, doing the podcast for the year, and you learn a lot more about somebody when you're in person.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but you know, Lex is a great guy, and we became better friends during this experience. But I do have some other interesting news.
Do the spirits actually talk with an accent, with an English accent over there, or is it more Americanized?
Interesting question. It sounded the exact same that it does here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it puts a whole nother outlook on the paranormal.
So
no, obviously there's so much video and audio and everything that I have to go through that I probably got, because you got to keep in mind, not only am I getting my footage, but I'm getting Lex's footage, I'm getting the patrol's footage, I'm getting some of GSI's footage. So I'm going to have like at least 120 hours of footage.
Well, you know, if you need help going through it, paranormal Global has got your back.
I know you do. I was talking to Eldon during the week, and I know, and I thank you guys for that. But it's definitely an experience that I'll never forget, and there's going to be lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of video and audio to go through over the next year. And I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know where to begin.
Who's starting to begin?
See the footage.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. And we captured a lot of different types of EVPs and through the voice recorder and the SB7, and I lived up to my name, the SB7 Whisperer, because there's a lot of evidence through the SB7, a lot. And um, what I found interesting also, when you do the SB7 here in North America, you get a lot of radio through the SB7. There, I got none.
Really?
None. And there might have been one time I got a little bit of radio, but that was the only time. And that stunned me. It was weird. But so what you're hearing through the actual SB7 is actual voices, not anything to do with the radio. There was another investigation I did that really solidified on what I was able to do. We did an investigation in Stoke called, forget what they're called. Can't think of the name right now, but they're kind of like caves. And back in the World War I and World War II, supposedly these caves held ammunition for the
catacomb.
Something like catacombs, but I can't remember the name of the place. But anyways, so we were standing in the center, and I kept on looking at the entrance coming in because I kept on seeing a shadow walk back and forth, like from left to right to left.
Kind of like he was guarding the place.
It's hard to explain why I was seeing it, and I think it was Ralph from GSI said, "Why do you keep on looking up the entrance?" I go, "Well, I'm seeing somebody go from left to right, right to left. We need to go there." And so we went up there and I did a voice recording. I got one of the best EVPs on the voice recorder that I've had in a long time.
Nice.
And it said, "Help me, please."
Ooh.
So now, long story short, yes, this was a bunker for ammunition, but supposedly through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, there was a lot of raves there and a lot of parties and a lot of overdoses. Well, during my time there in the front entranceway, I felt like my chest was really compressed and it felt like there was fluid in my chest. And I felt like I was drowning. And Lex did some search the next day. The beach caves. Thank you, Raymond. That's what they were called. And Lex did some history the next day. He searched some history. And he found out that there was a girl that died there from an overdose. And she actually drowned from her own fluid through her lungs.
Oh. Could you distinguish if it was actually a female or a male's voice that came through?
It was a female, for sure. And
you felt everything this female felt before she died.
Yes.
That's got to be something really hard to feel, man. I mean, that's got to be really emotional.
Yeah, it was. And she not only did we capture her voice saying, "Help me, please," but we also captured her 4 other times saying, "Help."
Wow.
On the recording. And what's remarkable is I believe Ralph and John have they've heard the woman's voice, but never to this extent. And what we were able to capture that night answered some questions that they had. And it was just really, really overwhelming. And I don't know why I needed to go up front, but she needed to be heard. And she was through the recorder.
Yeah.
And what I saw was this woman going back and forth in the doorway, not able to go anywhere except there. And we ended up finding out there's something else there that is keeping everyone there. But I needed to go to the front entrance. I did, and we captured that. and it was amazing. But at the same time, it was sad because she's saying help. She's begging for help.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she begging for help? Because I think she was trying to probably get a message out to her family that she's sorry and she needs help. And
I think you're absolutely right.
it was a sad moment, but and I know John and Ralph are going to go back there and they're going to try to help her. Maybe take a medium, get the medium to help her cross over.
Awesome.
So, but again, going back to just the whole experience was just really overwhelming at times, but definitely, definitely exciting, and definitely I would recommend anybody doing.
So I got a question.
Go ahead, Bub.
So why do you think the energies over there is so different?
It's funny. I was speaking to something weird happened to me during the week. That was kind of unexplainable to me, and I wasn't sure what was going on. So I spoke to, Charlie McBride. She's on the page. She's the medium. She's very good at what she does. So I called her today. Pardon me?
Brian might know.
Yeah, Charlie. She's on the Parapost Facebook page. She does it on Tuesdays. So I called her today because something very, very weird happened to me on Tuesday. I was standing out front outside, and okay, so people are going to have to follow this because it's really, really super weird. And like I said, my abilities got a lot stronger there than they are here. I was standing outside and I saw something circling my legs, and it was about this big, and I could tell it wasn't. How do I say? Anyway, I don't know what it was. So it was circling my legs, and it went right above my knee. It just went right into my knee. Well, I found out what that was today. It's actually considered a parasitic entity.
And what do those do exactly?
That's a negative. It's an earthbound but negative energy. So she believes I had some kind of negative attachment to me from the environment that I was in at my sister's home.
Okay.
And I'd never seen that before. It was weird. And then earlier that day, I was, my whole sleeping pattern was off during this whole time I was there. I woke up in the middle of the night. I was getting out of bed, and all of a sudden I heard my name being streamed. My name was streamed, like Brian. Somebody streamed my name. And my sister was asleep. My niece was asleep. So she was going, that was somebody trying to get your attention. So when I was standing outside, I saw that parasitic energy going around my legs and go right into like my knees right here, and it went like right into my leg right there. And because of my because of my environment that I was in, it was probably why it was happening. But to answer your question, Dylan, I really don't know. And I think it's because of the history and the rich history. There's so much more history than there is anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was completely different than it is here. Completely.
So,
could your sister and possibly have maybe had a night terror maybe and screamed your name, or was this like a voice you never heard before?
I never heard it before.
Okay.
I've never ever heard it before, and it yelled my name.
Like
later that day, I had that negative or that parasitic entity fly right into my leg.
When you say yell, was it on a level of 1 to 10, 10 being a blood-curdling scream and 1 being like, hey, what would you rate that at?
It was probably about a 7.
About a 7, so it was loud and predominant. You could hear it echo through the house.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Now, I also found out my sister's home's about 200 years old as well.
Ooh.
So, but while I was there, I never saw anything in the home. But I don't know, Dylan. There's something completely different there than there is here. That's
so some theories.
The only thing I can say. So what were you going to say, sir?
Some theories are it might be because of the solstice, or like where we are in like the axis of the world.
It's possible, but it's unexplainable. I just can't explain it. I think the thing that blew me away the most was as soon as you got off the plane, you can feel the energy right away change.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I stepped off the plane.
So on the plane, it was fine.
On the plane, it was fine. But as soon as I set my foot on the ground in the UK, it was completely different. Completely.
It was like a whole new ball game, huh?
Yeah, and it's funny because the fact that I was able to see things, hear things, feel things that I've never felt before.
And did you land any of your bucket lists for the UK for an investigation?
Yes, Sherwood Forest.
Sherwood Forest? Like the actual Robin Hood Sherwood Forest?
Yeah.
Nice. What'd you come up with?
What's that?
What'd you come up with?
Well, we got a very, very impressive EVP over the SB7. Now, if you know any history about the, actually, we got quite a few impressive things about the SB7. Before we actually got to the tree, the tree is the famous thing in the forest. It's over 1,000 years old, and the tree's ginormous. Like the trunk itself is huge, and
probably holding a Loch Ness monster or a dragon.
Oh my God, the tree was absolutely massive. Like the pictures don't do it any justice. What we got. And so the story goes of Robin Hood. Everybody knows the story of Robin Hood, but supposedly there was a kind of a similar story that was created from that story about a guy that was robbing the rich, but he wasn't giving to the poor. He was giving to himself. Supposedly this Robin Hood type of character hid in a tree for some reason. I can't remember the whole story, but on the SB7, I actually said, are the stories true of this guy, that Robin Hood type of character? And we got on the SB7, he hid.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you remember what I just said about Ralph telling us a story that he hid in the tree, that was pretty fucking
This was before you got to the tree?
Yeah. And we were at the tree and he hid. But later on in the investigation, now, the Vikings also settled in the Sherwood Forest. So, later, like further down in the forest. So Lex asked a question about the Vikings. Did you settle here? Were you part of the Vikings? And on the SB7, it's unbelievable. On the actual SB7, we got, yeah, of course.
Are you serious?
That's serious.
So do you think there were two different entities? The one that said he hid, and the one that said, of course. Do you think they were two different entities?
Two different areas that we were in. What's funny is when we were in the area of the tree, I said, my God, there's so many spirits here. And I felt it. Like I felt it right away. Mm-hmm. And we asked how many spirits are here, and it actually said 40.
Oh my God.
Now, when you were in the UK, could you pick up like what types of different spirits? Like, did you know you were talking to Vikings or a young woman or a middle-aged man? Like, can you pick up on spirits like that, or is it just
Yeah. The only thing I didn't pick up on was the Vikings, but everything else I was picking up on. I knew it was a female. I knew it was a man. When we were at the tea room that I talked about earlier, I knew right away there was a child there. I knew right away there was a woman there, and I knew right away there was a man there, and that was all confirmed.
Wow! And you got, I mean, the UK, man, they had a lot of bloody battles like us. They had the Viking invasion, World War I and II. They suffered some pretty heavy damage. I mean, unlike the U.S., we had, the North and the South, and that was about it for war, besides the natives and the European settlers. But the UK has seen so much more action, so it doesn't really surprise me that the UK would be more active than the United States.
Yeah, I think it's because the UK has so much more history.
Oh, absolutely.
They've been around for centuries and centuries. What was your question, Dylan?
I was asking if they were confirmed over the EVP recordings or the EMF.
I'm sorry. Say that again. Sorry.
If the voices from you said there was a man, a child, and a woman, were they confirmed with the EMF recorder?
Oh no, they were actually, well, yes, but they were actually also confirmed from the people that had been there before.
Oh, okay.
From the owner and from the group that we were with. There's a child, there's a man, and there was an interesting thing that happened. A very interesting thing that happened in that investigation that I'd never seen before. I'd heard about it, but I'd never seen it. They like to do the glass and the marble part, or they put it in their investigation. So what they do is they have these marbles, they put a light to them, and they glow. So then they put a glass over top of the marble, and they do the energy thing, and they spin it clockwise and talk about, and moving the marble. So at one point, the marble was in the center of the glass, and all of a sudden, boom, it moved right across the glass.
Did it hit the glass, or did it just move like a subtle movement?
It was moved by whatever was there.
Oh wow!
It's really, really cool technique, and it worked. Like I got it on film. We were stunned. And then there's one part where you can actually see the marble. It wasn't like moving; it was spinning.
Wow!
It was really, really super cool. Like, now you would think, okay, well, maybe something like maybe the table's uneven or something like that. But we checked the table to make sure it wasn't uneven. But if it wasn't uneven, then the marble would move. But the marble wasn't moving; it was standing still but spinning.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, that's the one thing I love about different countries is you pick up on so much cooler stuff, like techniques and different tools to use for investigating.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of all this fancy stuff. Like, again, I'm not a big fan of the Ouija board. I don't really like to interact with the Ouija board. We did it a couple times, but I didn't really interact with it because it's really not my thing. I'm not a big fan of the table tipping.
What is table tipping?
Yeah, I've never heard of that either.
Well, table tipping is basically you're standing around a table like you would a Ouija board, and you put your hands on there, and you're trying to get the spirit to move the table, and it tips. And I think that can be so manipulated that
very easily.
I'm just not a big fan of it. And again, and I brought up an interesting question about the Ouija board because John and Ralph from GSI like to use the Ouija board. And I said, well, okay, well, if the spirit is moving the planchette, okay, why do you have to put your hands on it?
I think that one is when you put your fingers on it, it channels energy for the spirit to draw from, and I think it's more easily movable that way. But you're absolutely right. Why can't a spirit move it on its own?
So the saying goes, when you're using a Ouija board, that it's drawing the energy from you, and that's what's helping it move. Okay, well, then that's helping it move. It's nothing to do with the spirit. It's you and your brain and your energy and your fingers that's making it move. So if the spirit is able to answer the questions, why do you need to put your hands on it?
Yeah, it's so much. There's too much manipulativeness to the Ouija board, honestly.
Yeah, I don't like
I can move the Ouija board with my pinky and make it look like I'm not moving it at all. They're not credible.
For me, I just don't like them. And
I don't.
I'm a pretty simple investigator. I like my 3 things. I like my SB7. I like my camera. I like my voice recorder. K2, yes, but I use that stuff and I get amazing results from that. So, everybody has their different things, and I don't judge. You investigate the way you want to investigate, but it's interesting. I learned a lot of different things about all these groups that we were investigating, which I found very, very interesting. So, is that Cass?
Yeah.
Who's the line?
Yep.
Yeah. So it was an interesting question that I asked, and I got the answer that I was expecting. It needs to feed off the energy from you. Why?
Exactly. Why? If a spirit can turn a flashlight on, why can't it move a little piece of plastic?
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Anyways, overall, the trip was exhausting.
What's up, Jeffrey?
And exciting, exhilarating, and amazing. And it's something I'm going to remember the rest of my life. Now, I did find out something interesting while I was away. I'm going to be taking another trip in June. Yep. I'm going to be gone for another month. I'm going to Turkey.
You're going to Turkey?
Going to gobble, huh?
I'm going to Turkey. I'm going to be doing a bunch of investigations in Turkey.
Now, what is the haunted history behind Turkey?
I have yet to research any of that yet. And when I do, I'll let you know.
I hear Turkey and I instantly think of a bird and my mouth starts watering.
Yeah. Turkey's going to be interesting.
Now, Turkey's
I've heard some good things.
Turkey's not up there by the Ukraine, is it?
Interesting question. I don't think it's far. I could be totally off base. Maybe Cass can let us know how far Turkey is from Ukraine. Are you going to? I'm not sure. All the little toys I pack with me and my best results come from audio, video. And we had the REM pod go off a couple times here and there, but it's on the other side of Romania, more or less. Okay, there you go.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm going to be going there for a month. It's very cheap there, right? It's not an expensive place. Like, I'm looking at a place right now. I rent it for the month. It's $200.
Oh, for a month?
Per month.
Dang, that's true.
Fully furnished.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting. You can pop if you want, but no camera. What was your question again?
How much do you think a house will run up there?
Oh, it's so much cheaper than it is in North America. So much cheaper. Like if you're paying rent for $200 a month, I can't imagine what the house prices are. Probably really super cheap. So, yeah.
Probably like 60,000.
That should be good. I think I'm going to change my name from Huntophobia Canada to Huntophobia International. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah, so
and the world beyond.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to have a lot of videos over the next 3 seasons.
Well, I'm definitely telling you now, Brian, I am hella proud of you. You did a great job in the UK from what I hear, man. And you've honestly been the buzz of the paranormal world the past couple days.
I don't know about that, but
oh yeah, I've seen people asking questions, Laverty. Don't get all bashful.
Yeah.
Man, I'm super proud of you, and I cannot wait to see some of this content, brother.
You guys it's going to blow your mind on some of the stuff that we captured, and it's some of the places that we were at. I was a little disappointed we didn't do a few more castles, but
how many castles did it?
It's very difficult to get in the castles. One, because you have to book well in advance, and two, it's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money, and maybe it's just me, and I'm not saying all UK people, but I found UK people, the money is very hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
So
hard to make, easy to spend.
Yeah, but all in all, that's Mr. Laverty. Is that what Cass is saying?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But now, of course, anybody that does need a production company, Bleeding Violin Studios is actually looking for other teams right now. If you know anybody, just ship them on over, dump your load off on and pay them $35. You're good to go.
$35 per video, or what is it?
I don't know. I've just thrown a number out there to be a smart ass. I'm promoting here.
I think I'm gonna attempt to try 3rd season or 4th season on my own. We'll see how it goes. If it goes like shit, then I'll get somebody else to do it for 5th.
So I gotta ask you something. Being from Canada, I mean, there was a very prestigious wrestling federation up there, Canadian Stampede Wrestling.
Okay.
And of course, it was ran by the Hart family. When Owen Hart died, he fell from 110 feet. He was being, lowered down to the ring.
Was it that high? I didn't think it was that high.
Huh?
Was it that high? I didn't think it was that high.
Oh yeah, he was in the rafters when he was coming down. And when the rope snapped, he fell, hit his head on the turnbuckle, and snapped his neck. Didn't die until he was on his way to the hospital. My question is if you had the opportunity to go investigate the Kemper Arena to see if you could contact Owen Hart, would you do it?
Interesting question. That's a tough question. Yes, I'll say yes.
Were you a fan of the Harts at all?
I was more a fan of Brett, not necessarily Owen. And
same way.
Brett was a little more popular than Owen was.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason why Owen became popular is because of Brett.
Mm-hmm.
And but I tell you, I met a lot of at the time it was called WWF. I met a lot of them at the airport. I remember meeting the Iron Sheik. Remember him?
I do, from the cartoon.
Iron Sheik, he was a great guy. He really was. I had a lengthy conversation with him for about an hour. And his persona on TV was completely different in real life.
Oh, dude, you should hear him go off on podcasts.
He was that. I met so many. God, it was like so many. Who was another? I met Randy Macho Man Savage. I met him as well.
Met Randy Savage.
Pardon me?
I've heard he
was a good guy. He really was a good guy. And I met his sidekick, that woman who was with him.
Oh, Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, she was really super nice as well. Who else did I meet? Hulk Hogan I met a few times.
Okay, now I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm a Hulkster.
It's funny because my parents have a condo in Florida, in Sarasota, and he lived right down the street from there in Florida. He had a place there out in Florida.
Both.
Yeah, and that's where I met him. Who else did I meet? Andre the Giant I met. He was massive.
Oh, yeah.
He was like the size of a fucking building. And
I think WrestleMania 6 was in the Toronto.
I was there.
Area. Hogan versus the Warrior.
I was there. You were at that event. Yeah, I was. I met the Warrior also, is bringing up his name. Who else did I meet? Who's that other guy? Oh, God. The Iron Sheik I spoke to at the airport for about an hour. He was fabulous. He was an amazing guy. Smart as hell. He was brilliant, to be honest. He was brilliant. So many others I met. Yeah. Back when it was WWF.
Crap. We're about to reach the hour mark, Mr. Laverty. Would you like to continue on and do an encore for another half hour, or you want to call it good at an hour?
I'm good, man. I'm good to go.
Yay, because I just got here. I was like, oh.
Nobody wants to see you, Cass. Take your ball and go home.
I like Cass. He seems like a down to earth kind of guy. I like him.
That's odd you would say that.
Why?
Sorry. Just normally people are like, you're strange. And I'm like,
listen,
get to know me.
Let me tell you something. I think we're all a little bit strange in what we do. So right. That's why I can relate to you so much. I'm a little bit strange.
That is awesome, ghosting paranormal DP.
Do you find that people are strange when you're a stranger? And do their faces look ugly while you're alone? But only while you're alone. I'm not doing the next part.
I'm not even going to answer that.
Why? Hey, Cass, there might be another brick in the wall.
Yeah, I don't need no education.
Hey, opposites attract, buddy.
Dude, we will do this. Wait. Yeah, you're that way. It's Brian's show.
Actually, it's Brian's.
One more time, Cass.
He asked me to come up last night, and unfortunately, I'm still trying. I feel like I'm even more jet lagged today than I was on Thursday.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah. So.
Jeffrey says, "Let's go wrestling." I have to show Jeffrey something here real quick. And just another week, right, Cass? Another week.
For what? Oh yeah.
For this right here.
Yeah. Specifically, I asked for another week so I can make the RS. That's extra good.
Okay. Oh, there was another person I met. I met Jake the Snake as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember a guy by the name of Shane Douglas?
Shane Douglas. No.
He ended up in WWF for a little bit, mostly known for ECW and WCW. But before he was big, he was in the Portland wrestling circuit, and they came through the Dallas, Oregon to the Armory. Actually got his autograph.
Oh, cool. Now, was he one of those ones where? Was he one of those wrestlers where there would be a big name coming out, and then there would be somebody you didn't really know that they were competing against?
Yeah, they did that with Jacob and Eli Blue. Yeah. These two were like 7-foot twin brothers, and they throw them in with these two little ass, no bigger than 5'9", maybe 230 pounds, soaking wet. And my God, did they get mauled?
Yeah. I wasn't huge into wrestling, but I knew a lot of the names because you always heard about them. Listen, yes, Raymond, this is true. I do put up with your. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's actually going to be on Through the Lens soon. Cool. So,
yeah, me and Raymond, we talk once in a while on Facebook and over the phone.
He's good people.
He really is. And he's like in all the podcasts. He's here every night, man. I really appreciate you, Raymond, and all the support you and Ghosting GP and Jeffrey and everybody else has been showing lately. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I tell you this much. You guys are getting some huge views on the Parapost page.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You guys are reaching a lot of people.
Well, thank you. Ray, since you went ahead and did that live, I've asked you guys repeatedly when I'm live, don't just like treat this as a personal walkway. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry about that. That was very embarrassing. We'll be moving into the new place and have a dedicated studio within the month. We're just waiting on approval.
That was a little bit harsh.
It was, but he's 21, so I'm maybe not so harsh. After all this time, he's 21 years old, and he's it's that artist thing. I mean, I can't blame him because I'm that absent-minded too. But I have to be talked to harshly, right, Brian? Or better yet, right, Eldon?
That's right, man. You got to get kind of harsh with Cassidy sometimes because otherwise you don't understand. So
yeah, me and Ray both have Asperger's really, really bad. So you can't afford to sugarcoat stuff with us. So
Eldon, get off the podcast. You're supposed to be on vacation, buddy. This is a non-working zone.
Are you working? Are you really working, Brian?
I'm working on looking Laverty look good. Well, more like he's making me look good, but that's all right.
I'm guessing
making you look good.
I'm guessing Eldon came up because he has some questions for me.
Yeah,
than dirt.
Let me tell you what, man. I want to say something real quick about Brian's extravaganzas over in the UK. I was really heartfelt and moved, seriously, to see Brian and Lex together. I don't think that was such a treat for me, man. I really enjoyed seeing that, and I think they both deserved it. And it really looked like they had an enjoyable time, even though it was, balls to the wall and constantly moving 2,000 miles over 14 days. And you could still tell, I don't think they would have had it any other way, man. They were just having a blast at what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, I will say this about Lex. You guys know how I feel about Lex. He's a great guy, but there was a couple times where Lex gave me shit.
Lex Luthor? Who is Lex?
Lex is my partner for Through the Lens, the podcast that I do.
So Brian, did you travel on the highways or did you go to the motorway?
I went to the motorways.
The motorway.
Did you see any Bob?
Well, you know what? The first few days, I was having problems with the driving. I'll be honest. One, because when I learned manual or standard, it was with my right hand. But in UK, you have to do it with your left hand. And so that was a little bit challenging at the beginning. And the roundabouts, I will say about the roundabouts, that has got to be the most fucked up thing. Because, okay, we have roundabouts here in Canada, but nothing to the extent that they do in the UK. Okay. They had one that there were some parts where they were every 400 meters.
Yeah.
There was a roundabout. And okay, let me put it in perspective for you. Okay. Milton Keynes is not a big town. I don't know the population, but it's not a big town. They had over 170 roundabouts in that town.
Dude, that's like every block.
Yes.
Let me tell you why roundabouts are evil here, ladies and gentlemen. You have an opportunity to go right, straight, or left. And, every time I get on a roundabout, I think I'm going the right way. I get GPS going, turn around and make a right. I make a right, turn around and make a left.
Well, there's a certain way you have to do it. So if you're going to the first one, you got to be in the left. If you're going to the second one, you have to be in the middle. If you're going to the third or fourth, you have to be on the right. So,
no.
As a non-driver, I just have to say it all looks like training for NASCAR to me.
Yeah, honestly, it was the most ridiculous thing in the world. And when you're driving manual or standard or whatever you want to call it, and you got to gear up, gear down, gear up, gear down, gear up, gear down. Every time you're going to the roundabouts, it's tiring. It's very tiring. Yeah. And I put it this way: I'm doing all this work and I'm getting no pleasure out of it.
Yeah, that's a bad place to be. Wait,
there's a lot of that forearm strength that you get.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're gonna come back with your left arm looking like Popeye and your right arm looking regular.
Yeah, it was interesting. But after about 5 days, I was getting into it and I was doing a hell of a lot better. But it had been about 8 years since I've driven standard. So it was learning that again. But and then on top of that, with the roads as well, when you're going on when you're not on the motorway and you're on the side streets, the roads are so skinny that when you're driving at dark and you're seeing a truck come down one of these side roads, it actually looks like it's coming towards you. That's how skinny the roads are.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say nope on that.
Why?
No, I wouldn't want to drive there. That's okay. Nope. Would you like a spider for your face? No.
So, Brian John, I've got a couple things here on the Parapost Network side, my man. Okay. We've got a gentleman. He's actually my cousin. He is with PD Region Paranormal out of Rockingham, North Carolina.
Yep.
And he's also got an account with Parapost Network. And he's got a couple questions concerning that. Okay. Now he's also got a podcast that he's debuting this coming Thursday called Paranormal Static. And his very first guest is going to be Mike with the Wraith Chasers. Cool. He's sitting backstage, and I'd like to bring him out if he can ask you a couple questions about Parapost.
Sure.
Alvin.
Yeah.
He'd like to ask some questions if you don't mind.
What happened to Tiffany Tarot for Thursday?
If you remember right, Tiffany's Tarot is at 7:00 your time, brother. And I believe that Paranormal Static is going to be at 4:00 your time. They'll be doing no double whammy, remember? We're good, brother.
Gotcha.
And so this is Robert!
What's going on?
Region Paranormal co-founder, and my cousin. He is my family. So this is legitimately
my doing, Robert. Nice to meet you, buddy.
How you doing?
Hey, man. What's going on, everybody?
Lots of good stuff, Robert.
Finally. Yeah, I see that.
A lot of people going on this panel right now. And unfortunately, Dylan's not saying a damn word. He's just sitting in the background listening.
So, Robert, I was kind of telling Brian John that you got a couple questions concerning Parapost advertisements. I know you'd hit me with a couple questions. I figure what better way than to ask the man face to face, man. Here he is.
That's right.
Be kind. Be very, very kind.
Nothing bad to say, bro. Nothing bad to say. Was just wondering on the Parapost app.
Okay.
We can go on there and we can post podcast links and just promos and stuff like that. It's a good place to do that, correct?
Yes.
And as far as putting you on our personal PD Region Paranormal website to help support that, we want to put you up there and put a link for everybody to be able to go get your app.
Oh, okay. So what I can do for you, I believe Elvin already has them.
I do.
All the logos, and if you can just send them over to Robert, that would be a great help.
Yeah, I can do that for you, man. No problem.
Yeah. And which ones do you have? Just out of curiosity.
I've got all the ones, including the one that nobody else is supposed to have.
Oh, okay.
That's so clear. The audience, I'm sure, is following along nicely.
Yeah, really.
It's actually a cool one. I don't use it very often. It's like the circle, and then you only see half the face, so it's only the eyes that you see from Para. So, yes, Brian is back in the studio. Who is that? I see you're back in your studio. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a studio, but I'm back. So what else do you want to ask, Robert?
That's pretty much it, man. I just wanted to thank you for allowing us to share our stuff.
Oh, God, dude. You know what? I don't know if Eldon or Brian have told you this, but my whole goal for Parapost was to bring paranormal investigators, enthusiasts, supernatural, cryptids, ufologists, all those people onto one platform and share their experiences, their stories, their pictures, their videos, and for everybody to experience the same thing and get to see, and maybe take a couple of minutes for the enthusiasts to see what we're seeing,
right?
You know, and it's a platform that's going to continue growing. It's going to continue getting better. The first thing that's coming up, hopefully in the next couple of months, is going to be the live. So, how do I say this? The reason I did Parapost Network Facebook page, and this is the first time I'm going to say this on your show. The reason I did the podcast page on Facebook, the reason I did that was because of the fact that I'm giving people another platform to stream to. First things first.
Right.
Another page that they didn't have before. My goal is, and there's a method to my madness, so to speak. I'm sure Cass probably likes that I'm saying something like that, a method to my madness. So what I want to do for everyone is, because they're streaming on the Facebook page, not only do they have another platform to stream to, but guess what? As soon as we get the live going, you're going to have another one to stream to.
Awesome.
That's my goal. That was my method to my madness. So anybody that's streaming on the Facebook page now are going to get another platform to stream to on Parapost.
We like that.
Well, so instead of having 4 pages, now you're going to have 5. Or if you've had 3, now you're going to have 4. If you've had 5, now you're going to have 6. That was the method to my madness and why I was doing what I was doing for the Facebook page.
Now,
that's it.
Or are you trying to reach the number 6 for a purpose, or is that just the way it's working out?
What do you mean?
Well, you said if you have 4, you'll have 5. You have 5, you'll have 6. Are you aiming for 6? Is there like a numerological reason for that?
No. What I'm saying is, if somebody's on the Facebook page now and they only have 3 places to stream, guess what? I've just given you Parapost, the social media site, another platform to stream to.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
That was my method. That's my method to my madness, and that's why I did with the Facebook page that I'm going to be doing with the Parapost page.
Right. So where I was going with that, I'm sure you've heard of the 6 degrees of separation.
Of course.
So my brain is applying what you were saying to the 6. Essentially, basically, if we can get more than that, theoretically, everybody will be linked in a web of light.
Yes.
I like it.
My method.
Can I ask you about Turkey? And somebody has a lot of background noise. I don't know who it is.
I think it's
Brian. It's not Brian. Anyway,
Dylan. No, he's on mute.
So, do you have? That's okay. That's why we are a post house. That's why we have video editors. Yeah. So, cut. All right. Now, do you have an itinerary for Turkey, or is it just kind of like a general, go there and see what's what?
I will, over the next month. I will get something together. I have some friends over there that I'm collaborating with to get me to these spots.
Cool.
Yeah.
For those of you for those of you in the audience who believe in this kind of thing, he's not in any danger from Ukraine. Don't worry about him in that way. Maybe Dracula will get you though. Blah. Yeah. So what I was asking about specifically or earlier is Göbekli Tepe. I might have spelled it wrong. That's in Turkey. Is that on your itinerary?
I don't know. I don't know at this point right now. Okay. I just found out this week I'm going. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So cool. I'm hoping to do at least 10 investigations while I'm there for the month.
Awesome.
So
I certainly hope you can take care of some business before you go and leave again.
Well, Brian, Eldon, I spoke to you yesterday and I said we need to get into a meeting this week. And you graciously said that we're going to do it on Friday. Now, my question was, and I never asked it when I messaged you yesterday, why in the hell do I have to wait a week to speak to you?
You can speak to me anytime you want, brother. Here's the problem. See,
did anyone else get cold?
I was about ready to start chanting Jerry.
I'm cold-blooded, so I can take the cold air on that. So, no, literally the reason is because that's going to definitely be Jason's next day off, and that's when he's going to be available.
Yeah,
I'm available anytime you want.
I'm just joking. Is Robert from PD, is he going to be on the Parapost Network Facebook page for the show?
Actually, here's the thing with PD Region. So PD Region is literally a division of Global, and they're going to ShadowZone's channel to stream their podcast. Okay. And so we're definitely going to be streaming to Parapost with that particular program. So you'll start seeing Paranormal Static a lot on Parapost now.
It's funny. I was just telling before you came on, Eldon, I was saying to Brian that you guys are getting some good numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And your shares are like one show you had 60 shares.
Absolutely.
Thanks to Mr. Lightwing down here in the corner, you dirty chocolate covered.
That's right.
I just did my part. Without any one of us, it would have fallen apart.
It's good having a production company with us, and
he gave me some great advice on how to run a professional podcast, and I have taken his advice and I have ran an extra 55, 60 yards with it. And I've been doing a lot better with podcasts.
If you don't mind me saying, Brian, you're fucking looking pretty sharp, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You've come a long way, dude. You've come a long way, man. And
my princess cleans up so nice.
Yeah, you've come a long way, and it's
almost had instant karma.
You know what? It's been impressive to watch. It's been really impressive to watch how far you've come.
We're proud of you.
It's been a lot of hard work, Brian. It's been a lot of hard work, and he's put a lot of effort in, bro.
Dude, all I can say is, bravo, because, dude, like where you were at the beginning, where you are now, it's like a world of difference. And keep doing your thing, man. Like you guys know I love you. You guys know I will always love you. And you guys are my boys. And, my personal feeling is, Robert, this is the first time I'm meeting you, and you're my boy too, because you're involved with Global. And
feelings mutual.
I definitely want to get you and your who's the other person you're with? What's his name?
Brian Horton.
Yeah, I definitely want to get you guys on Through the Lens. We need to start showcasing you and getting you out there, and
absolutely,
and we can do that. And fuck, guys, you're doing some amazing things. And like I said, from where you began till now is a world of fucking difference. And it's impressive to watch.
That means a lot to me coming from you, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very impressive, man.
You deserve it, buddy. Just keep doing your thing, man. And you guys are going places for sure. Your global program is good. And like I said to you, and Eldon, and even Jason, Don't listen to
I'm
the
left out.
outside noise. Don't listen to the outside noise. Keep doing your fucking thing, and you guys are going to go far. You know, there's going to be a lot of haters that are going to hate on you on this ride.
Absolutely.
And ignore it. And that's what I mean by outside noise. Don't pay attention to it. Keep doing your thing. And you guys got this. You got it.
We just got a request in. Keith Evan wants to know, can we add a live paranormal themed tag team match with me and Dylan? Well, Keith Evans, I'm actually in the process of talking to Support All Pro Wrestling's main booker, and I'm going to see if I can actually do an episode or two of Parathrash in the ring and actually give a 10-minute demonstration on what it looks like for a 6'5", 385-pounder to hop in the ring and completely annihilate my nephew.
I think we've had a few requests for that stuff already, haven't we, Brian? There's been a couple of requests like that come through, hasn't it?
This is what kills me. And earlier when I came on, Brian was saying, "Can you put me in a suitcase?" What kind of fucking suitcase will I need to bring Brian along with me to Turkey?
You print out a small one, you put me in a body bag, and you just throw me on the plane.
Dude, that's going to be an ox box, bro. That's like a crate that you put on a ship somewhere, man.
He's flexible. He'll fit. Just make him fit. Shove him in there.
Just tranquilize him first. He'll be all right.
Exactly.
How many kilos is 280 pounds? Does anybody know?
Not without looking it up.
More than 5.
Isn't 7 pounds? Isn't 7 pounds 1 kilo? Or am I wrong with that?
Because you're only allowed 23 kilos for each bag.
There you go with that dark magic known as math again.
280 pounds at 6'5". Good Lord.
I was going to actually cancel this podcast tonight because I was actually pretty nauseous today, and I'm glad I didn't, man. We got the whole family on here tonight.
You see what I mean, Brian? That's your performance strength. Okay, rely on that. But the show must always go on. I don't care if you're bleeding from your eyes. All right, you do the show. You know.
Jeffrey Warren says, "I want Brian in the ring."
Yes, well, let's do it. I want to get you in the ring, man.
Who is Jeffrey Collins?
That's Tank, bro.
Oh, Tank. Oh, you and me, big boy. I want you one-on-one in the worst way, buddy. We will. I honestly want to watch. Hey, Robert, describe Tank to Mr. Laverty here so he can see what the match would be like.
6'5", 460 pounds.
And I am 6'5", 385 pounds.
Yeah, that's true.
Tank is a tank. Honestly,
I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't normally use the F-bombs like that. I'm usually very respectful on other people's show.
Well, that's what makes it mean so much more, you know?
Yeah.
But Tank, if I ever get in your neighborhood, buddy, you got it, man. One-on-one, you set the time up, you set the place up, and we'll burn the house down on the Parapost Network on YouTube. We'll have ourselves some fun.
Well, I want to be making a guest appearance. I'm making a guest appearance on the 9th in Pennsylvania at White Hill Mansion.
Nice.
For an investigation. So, how far are you from Pennsylvania?
I'm up in Spokane, Washington.
So, how far is that from Pennsylvania?
About a 4.5-day bus ride.
Really? That far?
Yeah, maybe 5.
Wow. Oh, wow. Didn't realize that far.
Your best bet would probably be to team up with PD Regional since they're from North Kakalaki.
Brian, can I be your manager? So he wants to be your manager, Brian.
Emphasis on the man part.
Now Keith Evans here, I'll tell you guys, he's actually been in professional wrestling himself.
Oh, cool.
Keith Evans was a referee in the circuit for quite some time. And yes, Keith Evans, I would be honored to have you as a manager.
That's awesome.
Respect, bro. I did not know that, Mr. Evans.
I do want to reach out my hand to Robert. Robert, if there's anything you need when it concerns the page on Facebook, whether it concerns the app, just let me know. Just message me.
All right.
Or if you get Eldon to message me. I know me, Eldon, Brian, and Jason are speaking at the end of the week concerning Parapost. So yeah, just contact me if you need anything. I'm always there to help.
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
And
like we want to get you blasted out there, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Robert, your brother, from the bottom of my heart, Mr. Laverty here is one of the coolest guys you will ever meet in your lifetime.
Yeah, I've been watching his work for a long time.
He is an awesome person. He's damn good at what he does, both podcast and investigations. Man, I inspire to be half of what Brian is right now.
Oh, stop it.
I can't wait to get Paranormal Static up and running, and let's see how good that show does, because I'm telling you, man, I ain't going to spill the beans right now, but we got some really good guests in the works.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great podcast.
Facebook user said, Brian rocks, so don't all of you. And then it says, hey.
Yeah. So like I said, if you need any help or you need anything, just let me know. And like with anybody else, I'm always there. And I knew that was Angelina that said that. That's Angelina from Bad to the Bone.
Oh, one of my top 5 favorite teams.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad you said that, because I was about to do a bit about Russian bots.
Now, I got to tell you a story about Angelina. The first time I met Angelina was on a podcast, and I accidentally double booked him with Travelers Paranormal. Oh, they find out that they live, Tennessee and Kentucky, so they're conspiring for investigations. And Angelina, not even knowing me, just from one podcast, tells me, dude, you can stay at my house. I will feed you. You don't have to worry about anything. Just come down here and investigate with us.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Angelina the reason why we met?
Absolutely.
Yes.
She said, you need to talk to Brian Laverty ASAP. And I said, okay. And I did.
Yep, you did.
And you messaged me after that. One of the sweetest, most kindest paranormal investigators and ladies that I have ever met. Her and her wife rock.
Yeah, I love them both.
Absolutely.
Close, dear friends. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, Robert, but and I'm sure you have, but there are some fantastic people in this industry. And when you meet those fantastic people, you just become a better person. You know what I mean? And meeting these great, fabulous people, and obviously there's some black sheep in the family. There always is. Mm-hmm. But Brian and Eldon, and meeting Dylan for the first time, and Cass I've seen quite a few times, and Bad to the Bone, Rob from Get Haunted, Portal to the Paranormal, the Patrol. There's so many fantastic groups out there that if you connect with, you've made lifelong friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've made lifelong friends with Bad to the Bone, Travelers Paranormal, Ghosting GP. Now there's Forget Me Not Paranormal. I mean, so many teams I am so close with and would do anything for. They're like my actual family.
Yep. And obviously you're going to have that black sheep in the family, but I would say 95% of the people that are in this industry are, again, I'm sorry I'm going to say this, and if you want to beep it out, you can, but fucking fantastic people.
That's right.
Well, even black sheep are useful. Somebody's got to make clothes for the goth kids.
Hey, it's just nice not to be the black sheep in the family right now.
Yeah, I can see that because I'm usually the black sheep. So
Raymond Newton said, "You get the show on, and I'll watch and share." Robert, the show will air Thursday, the 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it will be on Parapost. So check us out Thursday.
Yeah, and Raymond is
nice.
I will say Raymond is one of the good guys as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
everybody's good.
Speaking of everybody being good, I have a question I've been dying to ask you for a while now, actually, since way before the show.
Hold on, Cash. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
You're a dick. All right. So, say a member of the audience, in this case, I'm asking for a friend. If they had an idea for a show, how would they go about making their idea reality? Like, what do they need to do?
Interesting question. Never been asked that question. It's a good question.
And I'm totally not asking for me.
No, I understand. I think when it comes to a show, okay, for example, when I did Through the Lens, we wanted to do a podcast that was different. We didn't want to do something that was the typical podcast on just interviewing people and stuff like that. We wanted to do something a little bit different, and that was bringing these YouTubers up on the show that are looking to build their channel. And for the smaller YouTubers, not like the ones that have 3 million or 4 million or 600,000. We wanted to bring in the ones that had 250, 350, 500 subscribers to help them build.
Right.
I think when you're doing a show, I think there's got to be something in the show that's got to be a little bit different so you can stand out.
Yep, that's why I do the cartoon character thing during our shows.
Oh, okay.
That's our hook,
Okay. So I think it's important when you're putting a show together that separation from what everybody else is doing is important.
Right.
And if you want people to watch, that's important as well. So I think you really, really have to sit back and really take a look at what you're trying to accomplish when you're doing a show.
Right.
Hey, Dylan.
Yeah.
Who's the superstar in this show, butthole?
Probably Cass and Brian.
I'm just picking on you, nephew. Is there anything you want to ask before we end the podcast, brother?
Seriously? I was right in the middle of my question, bro.
Well,
my bad, dude. I'm like, you're done with your question.
No. I was mid-sentence and you just jumped in.
I wasn't done with my answer.
Oh, he's gone now.
So
that's okay. We all get excited.
I think, and that's really, and for Robert, that's starting his new show this Thursday. I think you really, really have to figure out what you're trying to accomplish when you're doing a show. Yep. And it's just not about putting on a show and that's it. There's a lot of work behind it.
Yes.
And my advice for anybody that's starting a show, try to figure out what your niche is and what you're trying to accomplish with your show. And once you have that figured out, your show will be successful.
Yeah, I like that answer. Now, dear Facebook user says, just do it. Ha, ha, ha. That's my point, too. But I wanted to hear from a guy who actually knows more about this world than me. Yeah. He's a shark in these waters. I am a minnow. I don't even is this water? I can't tell. Okay, that's how bad it is. Okay. what I did, I started when we were homeless, and this is for the audience, for all you guys. We were homeless, and I just picked up a tablet and started. Okay, just how do you work this thing? That was the first episode. I don't know if I'm doing this right. You can actually look and see. That's the first episode. You just do it. But the thing is not everybody has the get up and go to just go, okay, hey, dive. So you're a professional, so I wanted to hear from you.
Well, I think, and this is good for Robert to know as well because of his new show starting. Have fun.
That's right.
Don't be so serious. I understand what you're trying to accomplish, and like I think one thing that's always told between me and Lex, that anybody who watches our show, we have a really, really good connection, and we feed off each other. But God, I've seen some shows that are so bloody serious, and when they're that serious, they're boring.
Yeah.
No.
That's how we.
Yeah, and sorry, and just have fun with it. And if people see that you're having fun with it, they're going to have fun with it as well.
Right.
But again, going back to knowing what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, I can put a podcast on and say, okay, well, here's my podcast. But people, I think, relate better knowing what your goal is and what you're trying to do, and they can relate to it better. They feel like they're a part of it.
Right.
They're a part of your show, just not watching your show. They're a part of it. And my suggestion for Robert and Brian is just have fun with it. And people that see that you're having fun, they're going to have fun.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's it.
So Brian,
like Lex and Brian is kind of a combination of me, Cass, and Dylan kind of put together in the podcast. We flow like peanut butter and jelly. We have a great time. Our guests are definitely entertained. And that's what it's all about, man. It's about putting on a good show, an informative show that people aren't going to watch, and be like, oh, it's the same shit as last time. Here's an eye roll. I'm leaving.
Oh, the spirits.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate that crap.
Yeah.
So building to the part. Okay, hold on. I actually had a method to my, or a madness to my method. Either way. So what about the next step? Anybody can like any of you right now, like after the show, wait till the end. Can start. If you got a dream, you can start it today. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the next step? Where do you go from there? And that part is I'm totally not asking for myself.
Yeah.
Because what our goal is, like that background noise is getting so loud. Thank you. The next step for us is going like around the world to do like we're gonna investigate the pyramids. We're gonna investigate this. You see what I mean? So we have a definite goal in mind. So what kind of advice would you give for somebody who has a goal but doesn't know what to do with it?
Good question. Again, it's going back to knowing what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're doing the first step, you need to know what the second step is. So instead of just putting on the podcast, and when I say the first step, yes, you got to know that your niche, what you want to do, and what you're trying to accomplish. But even the second step, you have to take a step back and think, okay, well, I'm trying to accomplish this. I'm trying to do this. What do I do after that? You got to know all of that stuff before you start.
That's a good advice, because that's where most people lose out, is they get hopeless.
Yeah. And like I'm not one, and people are different, and I understand that, but I'm not one that's planning so far ahead. I know Brian James, he has his podcast full for the next couple of months.
Yes, sir.
I'm
just putting it lightly.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like that. I think I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do, because it's not, but I think there's some danger in that.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Let me put it this way. I think there's some danger in that, because then your show becomes predictable.
True.
And
Can I ask how so?
How do I explain? It's very, very difficult to explain. And I'm not saying it's happening with you guys. I just think that when you're planning that far ahead, and it's like something repetitive. It's something that, okay, well, he's putting up a thumbnail a show that's going to be in June. I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general. So this person's coming up in June, which is great. So the next several shows, are they going to be all the same until this guy comes up in June?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
And I think and that's what I mean. There's a danger in putting these shows so far ahead. And I don't know. It's just me, but I don't like to plan that far ahead. I want that unpredictable person to come on. I want the person that's coming on not to be the same as the last person. And I think once you're getting into planning so far ahead, that's the problem. That's the problem for me, at least. And
I can see that.
Yeah. So again, I think, and I'm glad you asked that question, but I think what you need to do when you're doing a podcast, you have to know all your steps before you start.
Right.
Yeah. So you guys are smart people.
And also the one thing you need to understand is don't think, because you're going to do one podcast, you're going to be an overnight sensation.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No. Especially if you're putting it up on YouTube.
I've worked my ass off since October on this podcast, and I'm just now getting to the point to where, I'm building a fan base. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication. It's just not as simple as hopping on and BSing with somebody for an hour, like I thought it was going to be. It takes a lot more hard work and dedication, preparation, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it does.
So,
and
for the audience,
I think Robert is in a fantastic position right now.
Oh,
learn to learn from everyone, and watching the different podcasts and seeing what other people are doing, and being able to go to a page like the Facebook page, Parapost. You're seeing all these different podcasts, and you can really separate from yourself on what you want to do compared to what other people are doing. And that's really going to separate yourself from every other podcast on there. And which, don't get me wrong, they're all great podcasts. They have their own great thing. But this is a great time for you to separate yourself from what other people are doing. So I'm sure your show is going to be successful. But for anybody else in advice, really know what you're trying to accomplish, what you want to do, what your steps are, how many steps there are, and all those things. And if you know all that, you're going to have a successful show.
Yeah, don't start out like I did. Hey, I'm just going to BS with paranormal teams for an hour or 5 and see what happens. Yeah, don't start out like that. Get all your chickens in a row first.
Now,
it's like PD Region Paranormal when we started.
Now, the lesson here for the audience is that the things what we're talking about here is applicable to anything you want to do.
Yes.
Okay. Personally, again, this part's not there. I'm at a point. It's organized. I am not new to the showbiz business, but a lot of you guys have been asking us, "Hey, I got an idea for a show. What do I do?" Wrong guy to ask. That's the right guy to ask. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I think Robert wanted to say something as well, Cass.
Indeed, but I had to finish.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I apologize. I'm being a Brian right now.
Yeah. Me and Brian are going to talk later.
Yeah. So, Robert, what did you want to ask?
Whenever we started our investigations on Facebook back, many years ago, we got it in our head that we didn't want to record the footage, edit the footage. We wanted to go live with it. We wanted to people that are on our page to watch live, interact. They might see something we don't see. They might hear something we don't hear. So when we started, I mean, we streaming live, and you look at your camera, your phone, and you got one person viewing, two people viewing. You know, most people that would discourage, but we just kept on and on and on till now. When we stream live, we have a pretty decent following. You know, we got people interacting with us, and it's the same thing with a podcast. When you start, don't expect greatness. You got to earn it, just like every other thing else that we do in our life.
Yep.
You got to pay your dues.
No, I will say what's very important and what people need to remember, and I always say this to everyone I speak to that gets into this or does something along this. It doesn't matter how many views you have when it's live.
Nope.
The important part is the replays.
Yep. The people continue to watch it, and people
continue to watch it and continue to share it. That's what's important. If you, for example, for Through the Lens, I have 14 people in the room. For example, there was a video I had 14 people in the room, which doesn't seem like a lot, and it's not. But at the end of that week, it had over 1,800 views.
Yeah.
Right. You got to give it time
That's
to
what's
propagate.
important.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how many people are in the room. It's a matter of the replays.
That's right.
I really hope you're taking notes there, Bub.
Go, Brian.
You're an aspiring YouTuber, you know, and you're learning from some of the best in the business.
What's up, Dylan?
So I did have something to ask about that. How would you make a video really pop out in a sense of like, how would you make it entertaining, and how would you make someone want to click on a video?
Good question.
Thank you.
It is a great question. And unfortunately, that is the $1 million question a lot of people ask. And I think what's important when you're doing a video or you're doing a podcast or you're putting something, it's the connections that are important. For example, having Eldon as a connection, or me having Raymond as a connection, and making those connections so those people are going to watch your videos and sharing them as well. And I think it's important that you stay away from the bullshit, you stay away from the drama, stay away from all that crap that goes on in the paranormal field. And I think it's really, really super important that you make connections in this field in a positive way, because you're going to need those people to help support you. And that's what I rely on. People going to watch my videos because they believe in me as a person and who I am and what I stand for. And, you know, you can put the best thumbnail in the world. It doesn't matter. It's going to mean shit if you don't have any connections in the field and nobody to rely on that's going to go in there and watch your videos and share them.
Yeah. Another thing for you to remember too is one person alone can't do it. You got to have a team. You got to have a network. You got to have a group. Yeah. One person can't make the show. I mean, and that's generally what I'm saying. Yeah, that's right. I mean, just like, you know, Parapost, broadcasting, Cass, doing all of our hard work. I mean, you got to have those people in your network to make it happen, or it's not going to happen, because as Eldon can tell you, one man can't do the show alone.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I mean, I could be the host of ShadowZone, and I kill it when I do it. But
yes, you do.
If it ain't for my co-host, if it ain't for my production, you know, and it ain't for my brothers backing me up, I ain't nothing.
I think it's important. I think it's important to remember that yes, that's correct. And also what I said a few seconds ago about making those connections. You have to go out there and make those connections with people like Cass, or like with Bad to the Bone, with, you know, Get Haunted, with, you know, so many other fantastic groups out there that are going to be massively supportive of you as long as you support them, because it's a two-way street.
That's right.
You know, and, you know, I know a lot of groups out there that want to be supported, and I will support them. But in turn, they have to be doing that as well, because there's a lot of groups out there that don't do that. Yep. They expect to be, they expect you to support them, but then they don't return it. But you know, that's another area that I don't want to get into. But you go out and make those connections. Go out, and that's what I did. And I started making friends with all these different people. And now that I'm friends with all these people, I'm supporting them, but in turn, they're supporting me.
Yeah. In the music industry, we get the same thing. You know, I cannot tell you how many bands I've seen break up because one dude decides he's the diva or she's the diva, you know, and then it just tanks everybody else. You know?
Right.
Yeah. You gotta be yourself. You gotta stay true to yourself. You gotta, you know, you just have to be yourself. And if you're yourself and you're reaching out to these people and saying, listen, I watched your show, you know, and I think you're great, and you made that connection. They watch yours. It's like a spinning circle or whatever you want to do. It's just like running down that road of meeting all these different kind of people and making all those connections. Because the only reason why I know Brian and Eldon and, you know, everybody else in global, like Jason and stuff like that, is because of Angelina, who I became friends with from Bad to the Bone Paranormal. She talked to them about me. They reached out to me, and now I've reached them out to people that they didn't know. It's just like a climbing up a ladder. You know, you're just meeting all these different people, and you know, not be an asshole.
I see.
Not be an asshole. Just being yourself, and you know, and just making all those great connections. Because unfortunately, along this way of my road in this industry, I've met a lot of them, and they've wanted to jump on the huntophobia train. And I'm not here bragging or anything like that, but they've tried to jump on that train. I've done everything I can do to support them, and then they turned around and walked away because they got what they wanted. And so you got to be careful of that stuff too. But you know, connections are important in this industry for sure.
Like me and like Global and Huntophobia here, like he said, he shares us out on his pod or on his channel and shares our name out in return. Every time we do a podcast, what's the first thing I do? I shout out people, prepare a post. I tell them where to go to download it. I tell them how to get on there without downloading it. You know, you got to have your families back.
Brian, that's a good point. That brings me to a conversation me, you, and Eldon had not too long ago.
If you have a group or a team, it ain't going to work. You got to have family, as Robert quoted, in this industry to make it.
And you know what? I think you're really going to know. You're really going to be able to pick out who's in it for the right reasons and who's in it for the wrong reasons. You really can pick that out really, really quickly. And it sucks, but it happens in any industry. Any industry, it happens. But I find this particular industry, it really sticks out a lot more than any other industry. I don't know why that is, but it is. And if you can take anything that I say to heart, it's making those connections, which is going to make you not only a better person, but a bigger person. You know what I mean? And you know, I don't know how old you are, but you seem like you're 19, and you know you're in a really, really good position right now to really start making those connections. And once you do that, you're going to fly high. You're going to fly high, and again, it's about lifelong friends, you know.
Kara brought up something interesting. She says, I am just learning all these teams' names and adding them as I find them. Supporting and networking is super important. I have come to find learning as I go. And podcasts are super helpful in learning.
Yeah.
Well, all you have to do, Kara, is look up Global United Paranormal Foundation, PD Regional Paranormal, Huntophobia, and the Parapost Network fan page, and get a hold of me or Brian or Robert, or Eldon, and we will definitely shoot you in the right direction to some of the greatest teams that you'll ever come in contact with.
Yeah, there's so many. There's so many great people out there. There really is.
And to prove somebody wrong real quick, whose mic is muted and camera's off, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Say no more.
Let's talk about music for 4 hours. How about these two tag team names, the Bloody Bone Breakers, which I like, or the Wildly Werewolves? The Drunken Tickler is a tank destroyer. A 10-minute wrestling match is a combination that can't be beaten. 100% agreed. It sounds like Parathrash is going to take off quite nicely and fit in here.
Yeah, well, dude, the two genres, I mean, nobody thought comedy and the supernatural would work either, but we made it work, you know? As long as you have fun, people are going to have fun with you.
That's right.
I agree. I said that earlier as well. You have to have fun with it.
See, I've been kind of a spectator in all this. I've been kind of sitting back, listening to everything, and I've been laughing along with everyone. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm in the show, and I'm still having fun, even as kind of like being the one sitting back, not really talking too much, kind of being a spectator.
You remind me of a young. You know who you reminds me of, and maybe it's more looks like him. You remind me of a young Corey Feldman.
Corey
Feldman. Oh, now I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it now. I'm going to show Shannon and wreck her world. Damn. Folks, now you've seen it here. Proof you do not have to die to be reincarnated.
You know who Corey Feldman is, right?
I do, yeah. He played in
a lot. I like him, man. You do.
Lost Boys, or
the Lost Boys,
yeah, Lost Boys.
I had a Goonies bit ready to go if you didn't know.
Oh,
he also played
so
in.
You know, I got that in my pocket.
Friday the 13th.
He did?
Really?
Yep. Yeah, he was a little boy that
he was
Tommy
Jarvis. Had a cameo. Yeah, he was Tommy Jarvis and had a cameo in part 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we went longer than a half an hour, Brian.
Well, boys, this is going to break my heart to do this, but we are reaching the 2-hour mark. Yes, Cassidy.
Yay! Okay. What are the right reasons? And I'm not being sarcastic. I genuinely want to know. I've been in a state where I've been kind of re-examining things. What are the right reasons?
Who are you talking to? Me?
You.
What,
I know I'm faced that way, but you said you can quickly tell who the people are that are in it for the right reasons and the wrong reasons, and that got me thinking for a second. I'm like, well, what are the right reasons? I genuinely don't know.
Reasons are,
I like that question.
The right reasons are you support each other. The wrong reasons, it's only going one way. You're supporting them, and they're not doing it as much as they should be because you are.
Gotcha.
And that's the first thing. And are
you generally talking about a support system to non-support in the sense of a right reason?
Yeah,
I like that.
I think supporting each other goes both ways, and if only one person's doing it, they're in it for the wrong reasons, and get yourself away from them.
It's like a relationship. You know, the road's got to be 50-50. If the road's one way, get the hell out of it now before you get your heart broken.
No. It's not 50-50. It's 100-100. You can't do 50-50 because then there's.
I compare it to a relationship. I can compare it to a relationship. If you're the one always asking for sex, and the other person isn't, that's a problem.
God.
I'll tell my friend you said that.
Bleep it out.
All right, guys. On that note, I'm going to throw you in the back. If you guys want to continue to talk afterwards, we can definitely do that. And, thank you, everybody, for supporting us. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. And, little by little, we're going to make the paranormal world a happy place again.
Yeah, I agree with what Kara said.
I agree too.
But post it. It was really good.
Yeah. Let's show that up here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the right reason: striving to learn more, supporting continued interest. Wrong reason: thinking you will be famous. And then she makes a little happy face emoji. That's for those of you listening on podcast. So yeah, very, very wise, Cara. Thank you.
The Drunken Tickler versus Tank. Don't miss the match of the century.
Coming
now,
soon.
who's the Drunken Tickler and who's the Tank?
I just can't get over that name.
Tank would be North Carolina, and I, sir, am the Drunken Tickler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's so much better.
Now, if you get into my persona as a backyard wrestler, I'd have to go back as Psycho, but.
Okay, I have a question. When you're portraying your character as the Drunken Tickler, do you do it with a French accent?
Oh, oui,
Awesome.
I will come and tickle you to death.
There you go.
Oh, God. You got to work on that a little bit.
I shall call my finisher the French fry.
Yeah. So now I'm going to make your character, one of your action figures is going to have a chef's hat option. You know that. That's going to happen now. You know that, right?
Oh, but I want to say my thank yous for bringing me up and wanting to talk. And this was very enjoyable. Thank you, as always. And I've been on your show a number of times, so it's always a lot of fun.
Well, I would just like to say thank you to all of my panel, and especially you, Mr. Laverty, for your kind words and for once again saving my ass because I didn't have a guest tonight. It was a no call, no show.
That's okay.
We got one. Somebody looked up French Tickler in the audience. Don't do that at home, kids.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. I appreciate everything.
And Brian, I will be in touch.
Thank you, Robert. Definitely, please.
You boys don't go nowhere. I'll be right back.
My timing on that wave was not good.
Well, we'll close it with the three of us tonight. What the hell? Well, guys, tonight was an epic podcast. You know, we had a surprise last-minute guest. We had Mr. Vacation. We had Robert. We had Cass. I mean, the show couldn't have been better than this. And I want you guys to tune in Tuesday night at 7 p.m. will be our next podcast with Into the Mystic with hosts Richard Guthrie and Shannon Boomgard. Host Brian James, the one and only great Cassidy Lightwing, and Mr. Bub Dylan McClure. We love each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. Go check out Parapost, PD Paranormal. We will show the paranormal love, and we will show you a lot of other teams that will too. Peace out, y'all. Much love.
Bye.